Life, Imami, Nestle, Maruti, and various others, and ENY and others. He's a content writer for spiritual syllabus for practical implementation of spirituality in modern times for Hare Krishna devotees in Delhi NCR. He is also the co-director and script writer for Vaikuntha Players, a spiritual drama group, and also a lifestyle coach for families, corporate youth, and children, and whatnot. So, so let us welcome His Grace Amoghila Prabhu for the wonderful session today we are going to have. And I think Prabhuji is available here. So, dear Amoghila Prabhu, the floor is yours now. You please take over.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Prem Kishore Prabhu, for your love, for your kindness, for inviting me, and that I'm here to be of some service to these wonderful souls who have assembled here. And I'm there to deliver a topic on the lessons, management lessons, and leadership lessons which we can learn from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Let's just offer some prayer and then we'll start. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshuruntamitatasya Shri Gurudeva Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Vedanta Shri or Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. So Srimad Bhagavad Gita, it is such a masterpiece that there have been most commentaries written there on the Bhagavad Gita, most purports which have been written there on Bhagavad Gita, the leadership lessons are designed on the Bhagavad Gita, the management lessons are designed on the Bhagavad Gita, there are management principles designed on the Bhagavad Gita. In fact, Stephen Covey, who has written the world famous The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, once in one of the interviews he mentioned that I have taken maximum inspiration from Bhagavad Gita. So people all across the globe, all the managers and the leaders, they go through this book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. But maybe many people, they do not read Bhagavad Gita because it is just tagged as religious text. No doubt it is religious text, but it is much more than that. It is much more than that. See, when management people, they also refer to Bhagavad Gita. A very famous motivational speaker, his name is Vivek Bindraji. He, in one of his videos, he says, "Main to chor hoon. I'm a thief actually. I steal from the Bhagavad Gita. So people praise me. I have become so popular. But actually I steal from this wonderful masterpiece known as Srimad Bhagavad Gita." So he was saying this, having this Bhagavad Gita. And many times when we are distributing Bhagavad Gita, so then people say, "Ye Vivek Bindraji wali Bhagavad Gita hai?" Hum kehte hain, "Haan ji, Vivek Bindraji wali Gita hai." And then people take Bhagavad Gita. And our glorious Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, he also mentioned that there is no better gift I can give to this world, and there is no better gift that the world can receive from me, Bhagavad Gita. And then he said, if I meet any eminent personality, any leader of this world, I gift him Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Wow. So that's why if we start speaking about the glories of Bhagavad Gita, entire session can be dedicated to it. But yes, I started with this so that we can know that if we are today, what we are seeing is one of the perspective, one of the angle, one of the aspect of the Bhagavad Gita, and how even management and leadership can be learned from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. In fact, from very page of the Bhagavad Gita, the very front page of the Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna is driving the chariot and Arjuna is there as a warrior, and Lord Krishna is as how he is taking care of Arjuna in terms of education and all that. That photo in itself teaches us so much. Teaches us so much. So that is Bhagavad Gita is such a masterpiece. We can learn so much. But yes, today we are going to learn the management aspect from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And why Bhagavad Gita? It is able to answer all the questions. Why? Because Bhagavad Gita, it talks about the root. Yes, the root. Many of the motivational speakers, they speak, but it's all patch-up solutions. You know, patch-up solutions? Like say, in case you get some kind of tear in a kite, we put a patch-up, we put a sticker onto it. But that's like a patch-up. So somebody gets a pimple, and I go to the doctor, and doctor says, well, you can apply Clean and Clear, Ultra Claricil, and then you apply Ultra Claricil, Clean and Clear, and then pimple disappears. From here, pimple disappears, but here pimple comes, another pimple. So here you apply Clean and Clear, and then here it appears here, here. So that is the problem is not being attacked at the root. So we are to attack the problem at the root. So if somebody goes to an Ayurvedic doctor, so Ayurvedic doctor would say, well, you're getting pimples. That means your blood is unclean. You have to clean your blood. You have to detoxify your blood. So for that, you should take neem juice. You should take safi, something like that. And this way you purify your blood. When you take blood purifiers, then all the pimples are gone. So that's like attacking the root. working on the root. So Srimad Bhagavad Gita, why is it able to give answers to all the questions and on the planet? Reason being, it works on the root. There's no patch-up solution. No just think, yes, you can. It's easy. Yes, you can rock the floor, man. Yeah, yeah. This is all theoretical. This is all theoretical, actually. So Bhagavad Gita talks about the root. So if somebody is going for, say, patch-up solution, say somebody is reading Bhagavad Gita for getting some leadership sutras, and Lord Krishna is saying, hey Arjuna, now I'll speak about the leadership sutras. No, that verse is not there. But what he's teaching Arjuna, we can certainly learn. If we apply those sutras in our everyday life, we can evolve ourselves as great leaders. Like nowadays in corporates, the in word, the word just in, the word is just like a hot cake among the corporates nowadays, is servant leadership. Servant leadership. In USA, there was the leadership which was more power centric. The boss has all the power, and everyone else, they are working under him, and this power centric leadership, it was there, but it collapsed after a couple of decades. And then came the next leadership, which was there in China and other Asian countries, and this was more that of subordinate oriented leadership. This also lasted, but after some time, this also collapsed. Oh. So now the management gurus, they were thinking that power-centric leadership, that did not work. This empowering leadership, that did not work. So what kind of model is going to work? So no answer they could deduce. There were various speculations, but there was no solid answer. And when there are no answers to any question, people look towards one country. And that country, do you know the name of that country? Ye duniya ek dulhan 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 ke maathe ki India, ye mera India. Yes. India is that country where people look for answers they have when they could not find any answer to a question. So after this various forms and various models of leadership, finally, these management gurus, they came to India. And when they came to India, they saw a very unique relationship in India. And this relationship was that between a guru and the disciple. And this person, guru, which they saw as employer, and this disciple, which they saw as employee, this employer does not give any money, any remuneration to the employee. And yet, the employee is so much dedicated, is so surrendered that he is even ready to give his life for the employer. Even though there are no perks, no yearly increments, no bonuses, nothing doing, even then, this person, the employee, the disciple, is so surrendered to the employer, the guru. So they interviewed both of them. And when they interviewed, then they came to know that what makes a disciple so much attached to the guru, which they saw as the employee and the employer respectively, was inspiration. Inspiration. Inspiration is required everywhere. What Arjuna was missing on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he was missing inspiration. And Krishna, all of a sudden, which he provided was inspiration. In this world, everything is there to pull us down. The love goes down, the beauty goes down, everything is pulled down. Just like there is a gravitational force pulls everything down. But in case you want to make an object go into the outer space, we need a speed which is known as the escape velocity. Escape velocity is 11.2 kilometer per second. If something is thrown into the space with a speed of 11.2 kilometer per second, with that speed, if something goes, then that can stay in the space. That means beyond gravitational pull. So similarly, we also need the escape velocity of inspiration, so that we can fight against the gravitational pull of ignorance, depression, negativity, negative values. They are pulling us down. Arjun was also like this. He was getting gravitational pull of weakness of the heart. At that time, the inspiration, the escape velocity was there from Lord Shri Krishna. Wow. So very first lesson which we learn about leadership is that leadership is all about inspiration. Bringing a positive change in somebody's life. That is actually leadership. There are bosses, they have skills. They're very expert in getting things done. They're very expert in getting things executed on themselves or through someone. They are the boss. Yeah. But leadership is much more than being a boss, because a boss can make somebody do a certain task, but inspiration. There are leaders who are so inspirational that people who are working under them, they work for them year after year, even though they are getting better offers from outside, yet they continue with that particular leader. Why? Because this leader is inspirational. He's exceptionally great. He brings a positive change in their personality. And that's why they stick with the leader. Like in corporates, we say that people do not leave companies, they leave their leaders, they leave their bosses. They're so much fed about that person. Leadership. And this leadership, which really inspires. Now, what are various ways one gives inspiration? One is through dealings. Yes. Lord Krishna had such wonderful dealings with Arjuna that he was always a source of inspiration. He was always protecting Arjuna. In fact, after the battle was over, so then Lord Krishna said, Arjuna, now please get down. And usually the etiquette is that the chariot driver, he gets down and then he escorts the warrior. But he did not escort. He said, well, Arjuna, just get down. All right. So he got down. He said, now go a little further. How much farther? Okay, a little more. Yeah, a little more. And Lord Krishna was still sitting on the chariot. Arjuna was off the chariot. He said, yeah, okay. Move a little farther. Yeah, a little more. Yeah, okay, okay. And then as Lord Krishna stepped out of the chariot, it burst completely into chisels. Nothing was there. Nothing, absolutely. That means throughout the war, there were so many attacks on the chariot of Arjuna. But Lord Krishna was absorbing all of that. Wow. So his dealings, through dealings, he was inspiring him. Yeah. Through education. Just imagine a person who's playing the role of a chariot driver, all of a sudden takes the role of a coach. That means one more quality which we can learn from the Bhagavad Gita, from the character of Lord Shri Krishna, is that a leader cannot be attached to a certain profile. I sometimes in the corporates, when somebody says, well, can you please help me? And the other guy says, well, that's not my profile, man. You please do your job. A leader cannot speak such a language. A leader cannot say, well, that's not my job. He cannot say like that. When Arjuna was confused and he asked, oh, Krishna, what should I do? And Krishna said, well, that's not my job. My job is to drive the chariot. Those who are driven by their psychophysical nature, they are employees or managers. But those who are to go beyond their psychophysical nature, they are the leaders. Yes. The leaders, they are to work beyond psychophysical nature. And that's the leader. Just imagine if there is a top-seeded champion and then he is so confused and then he asks his chauffeur, can you please help me? And then chauffeur all of a sudden takes the role for a coach and then he teaches him. And then again he goes back to his previous role. Wow. Lord Krishna, he could change his role immediately and became a teacher for 45 minutes when he delivered the Bhagavad Gita. And Arjun was, oh, Nashta Mohasmriti Labdha. Yes, my illusions are gone. My memory is back. I know what to do, what not to do. So this happened how? Because Lord Krishna took the role of a coach. Before that, what is he doing? Before that, he's acting like a chariot driver. Now, who is acting like a chariot driver? Lord Krishna is acting like a chariot driver. Now, how humbling can it be to be a chariot driver? One more lesson which we are learning from the character of Lord Shri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita is that he's humble. Usually when somebody is driving a chariot, the warrior cannot communicate by speaking. He cannot say to the chariot driver, hey Sarthi, son, ab rath ko left mode le. Now please turn left. Now please turn right. Now please stop the chariot. I'm to fight with Karna, you know. He cannot say because there is so much noise all around, and because of the noise, the verbal communication is no more there. So how does the chariot driver, the warrior communicates with the chariot driver? Is by kicking. If he kicks on the left shoulder of the chariot driver, that means I'm to turn left. If on the right shoulder, that means turn right. If in the center, that means stop. That's the way Arjun was communicating to Lord Shri Krishna all the 18 days from sunrise till sunset. Wow. Who would be able to do this? Ask a chauffeur. Hey, chauffeur, today I'll drive the car. You sit back seat. In case you want me to turn the car right, please give me a slap on my right cheek. In case you want me to turn left, give me a slap on my left cheek. In case you want me to stop, then pull my hair. Can you do that? 18 days from sunrise till sunset? Of course not. We cannot even do for 18 minutes. Lord Krishna, such a humble person, the one who is declared as the Supreme Lord, who is declared as the Supreme Master, the Supreme Controller, the Supreme Proprietor, the Supreme Enjoyer, that person, he has taken the role of a chariot driver, such a humble person. And after the war, not that he said, well, I did so much for you. What's for me, man? What's for me? At least give me something for Dwarka. I'll give to my queens. I was 16,108 queens. Please give me something, man. No. He's contributing. And that's another quality. One is that he's humble. And the one who is humble can be a leader. An arrogant person can be a boss at the max. But humility is so very much required. Humility makes a person more flexible. Humility makes a person more receptive to knowledge. Humility. Humility does not mean thinking of less of oneself. It is about thinking also low about oneself. It is just not thinking about oneself, about one's profit. How much do I gain? What will I get? What's in it for me? This kind of thinking should not belong to a leader. And that's what Krishna is. He's so humble. And that's the way we manage the crisis as well. One more thing which a leader does is that managing crisis. Humility helps us to manage the crisis in a better way. Of course, we should be courageous, and yet at the same time, we should be humble. Being courageous and being humble. These two things, these two qualities are required. These two attributes, they help us manage the crisis. We know that in Mahabharata, when Ashwatthama became so outrageous as he came to know that Dronacharya has been killed, not just being killed, but tricked and killed, he became very angry. He got his Narayanastra. Narayanastra is the most powerful weapon in entire creation. The most powerful. Nothing can fight the Narayanastra. And then Ashwatthama decided that today I'll finish the war all together with this Narayanastra. Any weapon which is released against Narayanastra, it joins Narayanastra. It cannot fight with Narayanastra. And the only way to save oneself from the Narayanastra is to fold one's hand and say, sorry, sorry, sorry. We take shelter of you. That's the only way to save oneself from Narayanastra. Otherwise, finished. So he released Narayanastra. So Lord Krishna said everyone to everyone. He said, everyone, bow down. Bow down, everyone. Bow down. So everyone bowed down because Krishna declared that, yes, everyone should bow down. But Bhim said, well, why should I bow down? Never. And Lord Krishna said, Bhim, bow down immediately. He was not bowing down. So now Narayanastra turned towards Bhim with all of its might, with all of its powers. It was heading towards now Bhim, destroying Bhim altogether, completely, absolute annihilation. And then Lord Krishna immediately went there and then he just put his head down immediately. He wrestled his head down to the ground. And then he was saved. So one more quality which is required in a leader is that he should be humble. People look for humble leaders. So that's one more quality of a leader who is a servant leader, who should be ready to change himself from one profile to another profile just to inspire, to contribute. And that's the way a leader is. Another quality is that of humility. That's also there. Yeah, that's what Lord Krishna is exhibiting on the battle of Kurukshetra. Another quality is that he's contributing. He's contributing. And that's the job of the leader. Now, who can contribute? The one who is filled in himself. He's so much satisfied within himself. That person can contribute. The person who is hollow and shallow from inside can't be a leader. Because he always looking for opportunities for some ulterior motives to be managed and fulfilled. He's always thinking like that. So unfulfilled person, a greedy person, and hollow and shallow person would always be looking for opportunities for mundane profiteering. How one can satisfy one's own needs. So it's not so much contributing. So when we are tight, when we are stuffed within, then we are more contributing because now I'm done. Yes. Then one can fight with temptations also. Because one more thing which comes in the life of a leader is that temptations. Because the energy of the Lord, which knows that if I just make the leader fall, entire bunch would fall. Because leader is gone, everyone else is gone. So leader would be tested for temptations. Against temptations, he would be tested. But in case he's so satisfied in himself, that person can be contributing. When Srila Prabhupada, when he was in USA, so there was one American lady in the hall. It was an auditorium. So she said, "Swamiji, mwah, I love you. Will you marry me?" Now Srila Prabhupada, again being a leader who is so much full in himself, and that's why he's so satisfied in himself. He said, "My dear daughter, I have already given up household life. You please take to Krishna consciousness." Unaffected. He's not affected. Why? Because he's so much full in himself. Yes. That's the kind of leader required, who is more contributing, who is giving instead of taking. Why? Because he's satisfied. Usually it is believed that if you're satisfied, you can't grow. If you're satisfied, you cannot grow, man. In case you want to grow, never settle. 1+, never settle. Well, those who do not settle, they can't make others settled. Because I'm myself not settled, Baba. Yeah, never settle. But those who are settled, especially mentally, intellectually, spiritually, those who are settled, they can settle others. Yes. In case if I am to give somebody a support, I should also have the solid support. Then I can contribute actually. Like in husband and wife, we see husband and wife, they can contribute in each other's life and they are satisfied. Then they can contribute. So when somebody is not really satisfied, one needs so much from outside to fill in that hollowness within. The Lord Krishna is so full in himself, and that's why he was contributing. That's the quality that is full. Ultimately, we are needing happiness, right? And to get that happiness quotient get fulfilled, people do what not in this world. What not? They do that. We have seen examples of like Bill Clinton. He was a great leader, great leader. But he was seeking happiness in Monica Lewinsky. So what's the result? Today, as soon as somebody says Bill Clinton, second word, the second name automatically pops up in our mind. The name is Monica Lewinsky. Oh. So leader, when he's seeking pleasure here and there, then he's not really satisfied. Then he doesn't. Okay, all right. So there's one message in case you're getting interruptions in your videos in terms of the lecture being downloaded to you. Just switch off your video so that you get better audio. Yeah. All right. So that's very important. Happiness. Where one would get happiness. As in my introduction was told that I go to IIMS Ahmedabad. So in the year 2018, I went there. So in that batch, some of the boys, they came to me and they were discussing the attributes which they have outlined, which are required in a leader. And one of the qualities they mentioned, which should be there in the leader, is that a leader should be satisfied. A leader should be happy. Not just plastic smile wala happy. He should be genuinely happy. And when he is happy, he spreads happiness. In case he's screwed, he screws others, others screws others. In this way, entire organization is screwed. So a leader should be happy. And then they mentioned that they did research on various communities in this world, like the Buddhist community and the Punjabis community and the North American community, the European people, the American Africans, various communities, Muslims, Christians, Jain. They found out, they said, very important finding. They said that the happiest people in this world are Lord Krishna's devotees. They are the happiest. Now here is a research not done by some ISKCON devotees. Some IIM students, as they were jotting down what all different attributes are there in a leader. One of the attribute is leader should be happy. And he's happy, he makes others happy. He inspires them genuinely, and he's contributing as well. And out of various communities, they said Lord Krishna's devotees are happiest. That phase, we can say that if somebody wants to be a leader, he should be Lord Krishna's devotee, so that he can be the happiest. He can have his happiness quotient being fulfilled very nicely, fully, and then can be contributing naturally. Why not? And that's Lord Krishna also mentions in the Bhagavad Gita in the 4th chapter, that this knowledge has always been given to the kings. This knowledge has been given to the kings always, and the kings, they have given to their next successor, to next successor, to next successor. In this way, Lord Krishna is to give this knowledge to the leaders so that they can give this knowledge in succession. So one more lesson to learn from the Bhagavad Gita is that Leadership is all about succession. Insecure leaders, they do not create succession. I repeat, insecure leaders, they do not create succession. Why? Because they are fearful. अगर सारी शक्ति इसको मिल गई फिर ये तो मुझे रिप्लेस कर देगा. No, I want to remain indispensable. Nobody can replace me. Yes, nobody should replace me. Yeah. So when somebody is having this consciousness that nobody may not replace me, this sense of insecurity would not let the person empower his subordinates. Especially when somebody is there among the subordinates who's very talented, who's very intelligent, who can actually take the things to new heights. This leader feels very insecure. That's this person can replace me. Oh, he would be fearful, would not empower. And because he's not empowering, that's why he would not create succession. And in case we are not creating succession, it would halt there. That's it. Finished. Story is finished. But leadership is all about succession. Lord Krishna gave the knowledge to various kings. Now he was giving to Arjuna, of course. But he has given to sun god, leader. He gave to Manu, and then he gave to Ikshvaku. In this way, succession should be there. So we should create the succession. That's very important. So leadership is there to empower people and uplift them. A leader should have one quality, is that he is very good in forming relationships. Now, a leader has got vertical relationship as well as horizontal relationship. Now, vertical relationship with God and horizontal with his subordinates and peers. Of course, his prime focus should be here, his vertical relationship. That means he's more spiritually, he's tightened, he's fixed up. He can take care of these relationships in a better way. That's very important. Especially when there is a crisis time and one can be mentally very much disturbed, so that the decision making can get negatively affected. In such a case, this vertical relationship really helps a person. Just like, for example, somebody is in the midst of the ocean, and there are waves, a wild waves, sometimes hitting the person from this side, sometimes from this side, back side. So one way is that he can fight with the waves. He fights this way and that way and front and back in fight. But after some time, he would be tired. And one cannot fight with the waves for a longer period of time. Another option is that if there is a helicopter and that has got a rope, and the person is now catching hold onto that rope, now in such a case also, he would be sometimes hit by the waves from this side and that side, on back side and front side. But instead of fighting with the waves, he is catching all hold onto the rope itself. In this way, he can gradually be uplifted and go beyond this state of distance. Similarly, a leader has got a vertical relationship as well as horizontal. Arjuna was having his horizontal relationships, but he was being disturbed, seeing whatever is happening. One party is fighting another party. That's not good. So his horizontal relationships are disturbing. But since he's having his vertical relationship with Krishna, Lord Shri Krishna, he was having that rope. And that's why he was catching hold onto that rope. And that way he could fight with that. He could fight with that situation, that crisis, that thing which was undesirable, that comes in the life of a leader. That undesirable, unfavorable, unthinkable, unpredictable things can happen in the life of a leader. But he or she can manage these things in a better way, just because somebody is having this vertical connection. That's very important. So a leader should have this vertical connection with divinity, with God, with spirituality. That's must for a leader, actually. That's must. In case he's not having this, he would be weak, especially in dualities. Dualities come in our life, the profits and the loss, the goods and the bads. The duality would always be there. I did a song, there is a rule, man is such a fool. When it is hot, he wants it cool. When it is cool, he wants it hot. Always desiring that which is not. So in case we are getting stuck into this, then the person cannot focus. Cannot focus. So it is very important for a leader to have this vertical connection of spirituality. And then the person can manage the ups and downs, the hills and valleys of life, the crests and troughs of life, the summers and winters of life. So that's so much required for a leader. And that is, we see that Lord Krishna, he could see that, okay, my friend is there in crisis, and he gave the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita, which helped him transcend the duality. Transcend the duality. And we see that in the beginning, one more quality which Lord Krishna exhibits in the Bhagavad Gita is that he's a very good listener. He's listening to Arjuna. In first chapter, Lord Krishna is not speaking. So from second chapter, he's not speaking in the Bhagavad Gita. So one more quality of a leader is that he's very good in listening. He listens. Very important. When Shurpanakha came to Sri Ram, at that time when Ram said, well, I got one wife. And then he passed her to Lakshman. And Lakshman said, well, I'm such a servant. You become a wife of a servant. That's not good. You'll be a dasi. So this way to and fro was happening. Finally, when she rushed towards Sita, and then Lakshman chopped off her nose and the ears. So then the Acharyas mentioned why he did this. He chopped off her nose so that, because she could not smell the concerns of the others, and she could not hear the advice of the others. And see, she was not using her ears and nose, and that's why Lakshmanji just chopped off the nose and the ears. So listening is very important. A leader, more he listens, more he has the idea of the ground reality. One challenge which comes with the leaders who are very intelligent. Intelligence is a strength. Intelligence can also become weakness. When intelligence becomes a weakness, when intelligence is seen that this is my ultimate shelter, and since it is my ultimate shelter, I don't have to listen. I know what is right, what is wrong. I know what is to be done, what is not to be done. I know that. And when the person is having this attitude, I know that, this arrogance, this attitude of not listening, that keeps a person away from ground reality. And because a person is away from the ground reality, that makes a person take wrong decisions in life. And when the person takes wrong decisions in life, that brings calamity. Of course, wrong decisions can also bring experience. And with experience, one can take right decisions. Like there was one reporter, he asked a very successful business tycoon, you are so successful, sir. What's the secret of his success? He said 2 words: wrong decisions. He said right decisions. He said, oh, right decision. But how do you get right decisions, sir? He said, well, by experience. He said, oh, by experience. How do you get experience? He said, by wrong decisions. So wrong decisions can give experience, and experience can lead to good decisions. But this is a very destructive way of learning. Destructive way of learning. The constructive way, the positive way, it is non-destructive way, economical way, is that of hearing, listening. A leader should learn by hearing and listening. That's important. Those who are less intelligent, they learn by experience. Those who are more intelligent, they learn by hearing. I repeat, those who are more intelligent, they learn by hearing. And they are less intelligent people, they learn by experience. Yes. And that's why there is a saying that in order to experience happiness, I must experience distress. In order to experience happiness, I must experience distress. 2 times one word is coming, experience. Why? Because the person is learning just by experience. Oh, we should learn by hearing. Arjuna here is learning by hearing. He would have said to Krishna, well, no, let me fight. No, I'll not take your advice. No. He listened to Lord Krishna. So he's listening. And before then, Lord Krishna is also listening. He's there as a super soul. He's Paramatma in everyone's heart. He can say, come on, Arjuna, shut up, man. I know what you're going to say. Now just listen. Huh? He could do that. But he did not do it. He's still listening. Okay, Arjuna, what next? And then he said, well, take my chariot. Let me see who all have come to fight with me with a motive, with a motive to satisfy this evil-minded Duryodhan. Let me go and see them. And Krishna said, oh, all right, okay, all right. Krishna is listening. And then in second chapter, when he submitted himself to Lord Krishna, Arjuna, and then when he said, Shishastyam Shadivam Tam Pam Prapannam, I am now your surrendered disciple. Please instruct me, please guide me. And then Lord Krishna, he said, well, you are speaking like learned man, but actually you are fool number 1. He chastised him. He chastised Arjuna. But in that chastisement, there is knowledge. So there is one more quality of a leader. A leader may chastise, but in that chastisement, there would be knowledge, not just ill words. And nowadays in corporates, there is a very common word is the letter F, the word F. UF, and then CKER later on. I can't say that word because that's a nasty word, but that's quite an in thing, you know. I just say that word F, F off, man, F off, F. That shows the value system of the leader. Yeah, but who says this? But when somebody is chastising, in that chastisement there is knowledge. Lord Krishna, when he chastised Arjuna, there was knowledge in that chastisement. Not just chastisement, it was very reciprocative conversation. Wow. See, even to give somebody a feedback, that's also an art. That's also an art. Sometimes when you blabber out all that grudge and all lava which was there in my heart towards my employee, towards my peer, towards my companion, my friend, my partner, well, it's a lava. Lava doesn't bring construction. It's not a constructive thing to deal with things. Lava is destructive. It has come out of an explosion. So when somebody explodes out the lava, that spoils the relationship. So that's why, in order to give feedback, yes, feedback should be given in a righteous way, in a right way. So that which brings transformation in the heart of the person, which brings inspiration in the heart of the person. But in case it is just a pour out of anger, grudge, resentment, that's not really good actually. So one should be very conscious what kind of words am I using in terms of giving the feedback. So that's why a leader should be conscious in using one's words. Yes. Like Lord Krishna says in Uddhav Gita to Uddhava in Srimad Bhagavatam. The Bhagavad Gita and there is Uddhav Gita. He says, "Oh Uddhava, even an arrow which has pierced the heart does not give that much pain as the harsh, insulting words of the uncivilized men." Those who are not civilized, they speak all those insulting words. And those insulting words, they really pierce our heart. Sometimes even people carry them for the rest of their lives. So that's why it is very important what are the choice of words one is using. There's one survey which mentions that in this world, about the conflicts, it's mentioned that 90% conflicts are because of bad tone. 10% conflicts are because of disagreement. Okay, my opinion is this, your opinion is that. We have got difference of opinion, so there is a conflict. But out of totality, in aggregate, if you see, only 10% conflicts are because of the difference of opinion. 90% conflicts are because of the bad tone. 90%. That's a big percentage, actually. So tongue has to be used judiciously. What kind of tone we have? Actually, tone really matters. Not just the words, but also the tone which we use. Somebody may say, "Well, I was concerned about him, so I just said it." Come on, you brainless fool! Can't you come on time? I asked him to be punctual. But what are the kind of words we used? That's very important. That's very important. So what kind of words we use? So Lord Krishna, he says that what is the austerity of speech in the Bhagavad Gita? He says that anudvega karam vakyam satyam priya hitam chayat swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva mangamyam tap uchyate. So that's the austerity of the tongue. Okay, what's the austerity? The speech should be, what kind of speech we should use as a leader, what kind of speech should we use? It mentions that what one should speak, one should contemplate first. Is it truthful? Is it true, or is it a part of grapevine? Grapevine, kana fusi. Isne usko bola, isne usko bola. Acha, oh, that's grapevine. Chinese whisper, that is also known as Chinese whisper. You know what? I should not rely on such piece of information. So it should be truthful. What I'm speaking should be truthful. Okay, what I'm speaking is truthful. But usually truth is quite bitter. So a leader should know that he's speaking the truth, but at the same time, it is pleasing. That means it is soaked in honey. In case, it is going to hurt, at least it should hurt less. Pleasing. Words which I use should be pleasing to the heart of the other person. Okay, that's another quality. Third quality is that, okay, it's going to be pleasing, it's going to be truthful, but is it going to benefit the person? It is going to be beneficial. Hitam chayat. Is it going to be beneficial? Well, not. Then leave it. Why to speak such a truth? It is not going to be beneficial. So it should be beneficial. Okay. Then fourth quality is that it should not be agitating. We should not use words which are going to agitate the person. Yeah. So non-agitating. Then somebody may say, well, that's quite demanding, That's quite demanding. Whatever we speak should be truthful, it should be pleasing to the heart, and it should be beneficial to the other person, non-agitating. That's quite demanding in terms of austerity of speech. How to do, how to have these four qualities. And then Lord Krishna says, Swadhyayam, that by reciting the scriptures, when we recite the Vedic scriptures, the holy scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, when we recite them, then what happens? Our vocabulary becomes like that of that particular scripture. And when that vocabulary, that Shabdakosh, is now affected by that recitation, so the result will be that my words will be truthful, my words will be beneficial, pleasing, and non-agitating. So the fifth quality which is mentioned here, Swadhyayam, Abhyasanam, that one should practice recitation of the scriptures. When one does that, the other four qualities would manifest automatically and naturally in the person. So there's one more quality which we learn from the Bhagavad Gita, that one should speak in a way that inspires. Now, sometimes we use such words that instead of correcting the person, it hits the person. We are to cure the disease, not we are to screw the person. I was saying that पाप से घृणा करो, पापी से नहीं. But sometimes politicians may say, well, गरीबी हटानी है, गरीबों को नहीं. Hate the sin, not the sinner. So rectify the sin, rectify the shortcoming. But sometimes in order to kill the shortcoming, we become so wild in our communication that we kill the person. We kill that spirit of work. We kill that spirit of action in that person by using our words. So we should be very judicious, very conscious in using the right kind of words. Not that one uses all kind of wild words just because that's my MTI, mother's tongue influence, No, I have to come out of my MTI, mother's tongue influence. I have to come out. See, somebody may say, well, I'm from Haryana. And those who are from Haryana, they speak like that only. And that's the way I am. Well said, then you can't be a leader. You have to come out of this mother tongue influence. Yes. So right choice of words with right consciousness, with right spirit, at the right time to the right person. That's the way a leader is. So we should be very conscious in communicating ourselves. We do not communicate words, we communicate our consciousness. I repeat, we do not communicate words, we communicate our consciousness. So that's why we communicate our consciousness through those words, but consciousness really matters. Like mothers, they chastise their children and they may speak, you fool, you dumb, yet we do not feel hurt. Why? Because mother has loved us so much. And that saying of dumb and fool, there is concern. There is concern. Similarly, when we also communicate, we should communicate with the right kind of spirit. And when we have that right kind of spirit, that can inspire the person rightly. So words are very important. Words shape our words. I repeat, words shape our words. Not just in corporate scenario, in fact, in everyday life, like in husband and wife, the kind of words we share with each other. It's very important. Sometimes because we take the other person for granted, yeah, I'm married to this lady, I'm married to this guy. Yeah. And we sometimes become quite loose in the way we communicate to each other because we have taken each other for granted. We are living for each other from past so many years. Yeah, we have got each other. Yeah, I know that. No. In any relationship, we should be very conscious about the choice of words. And not just choice of words, but consciousness which is backing those words. That's very important for a leader. All right, so I've got around, say, 12 minutes or so for question and answer. So let's take a few questions. But before that, I would request our host, Prem Kishore Prabhu, to kindly come and make a few announcements for.
Yeah, thank you, Amogla Prabhu, for the wonderful session. Okay, so we have few important announcements. The first announcement is, so am I audible? Okay, so kindly mute yourself. So the first announcement is we are starting a Bhagavad Gita course, Learn Bhagavad Gita. It's a certificate course and which is starting from 5th of June every Saturday from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. And whoever wants, this is the salient features are like We'll be covering every session one chapter. So 18 chapters in 18 sessions, and a lot of brainstorming, question answer sessions, and there will be assignments also. It's a serious course. Whoever wants to really understand Bhagavad Gita, learn Bhagavad Gita, and also live Bhagavad Gita. So in 18 sessions, 18 chapters, you can join this, and attendance are must in this course. And the donation is 100 rupees. Why we are charging 100 rupees is just to make the segregation between those who are serious and non-serious crowd. And there'll be a certificate after successful completion. So whoever wants to join, in the chat window, the link is there. You can just join the. I think that link is yes. This WhatsApp chat link is there. So by clicking on this, you can join this group. Okay. Another announcement. Yes. So this announcement is specifically, we are starting those people who really want to advance in spiritual life. So we have this particular course, like these weekly seminars are like regularly we are doing, but somebody who really want to understand and practice spiritual life. So we have this Ashray course, and which is based on, we call it 4S course, which is based on Swadhyay. We'll be reading one scripture, 30 minutes, and we'll be doing mantra meditation, learning it and how to do that. Sadhana, then Sambandh, your open heart discussions and question answers, and then Sadachar about the practical aspects of the devotional service and other things. Okay, so who can join it? First of all, why we need it? So first of all, to understand and practice the Sanatana Dharma in an authentic manner, association of like-minded spiritualists, the personal spiritual guidance, and of course, after practicing, preaching the Sanatana Dharma. How we do it? This is the 4S methodology. It's a weekly online 1-hour session, maximum 20 members per group, individual attentions, duration is 3 months, 80% attendance is must, and it's free of cost. Who can join it? First of all, the sincerity of purpose. Those who sincerely wants to practice and preach Sanatana Dharma, they can join it. And they must have completed 4-session DYS course, Discover Yourself course. So I would request, in this group, there are many devotees also are already connected with some temples. They are already going on with their classes. So they should not join this course. This is for newcomers, completely new people who really want to practice the spiritual life. So WhatsApp link has been put in the chat window. Please click that, and whoever is interested, they can join. And after your joining the group, you will be called for a DYS session, 4 sessions, 1 hour each session, Discover Yourself session based on Bhagavad Gita. This is the eligibility for joining this group. And after completion of this 4 session, and these 4 sessions, joining these 4 sessions is a must for joining the Ashray level 1 course. Okay. And Indrajit Prabhu, can you show us the conference? Yes. And the third announcement is about the conference, which is coming up on 22nd and 23rd of May, next Saturday and Sunday. So world-renowned speakers are going to join this conference. This conference is all about, we call it 3S conference. So 1S is sustainability, another S is spirituality, and then simplicity. So environmental sustainability redefined through simple life practices and integrated spirituality. So we will be having with us, of course, Amoglila Prabhu will be speaking on his topic. And then we have Dr. Rajendra Singh, who is the Jal Purush, the Waterman of India, and the Magsaysay awardee, founder of Tarun Bharat Sangh. And then we have with us Dr. Sachin, all renowned professors, so need not take the name of all. So whoever wants to join this 3S conference, so this is based on following themes: environmental and eco-theology, environmental sustainability through spirituality, sustainable living through simplicity and spirituality, and environmental sustainability through social and cultural heritage. So for this conference also, the link is there in the chat window. Whoever wants to join this course, kindly register for this. For students, I think there is some 50% discount is there, and otherwise the fees is still not that much, just rupees 200. And still, if somebody have any problem joining, kindly contact us, and we'll help you out in joining. Okay, so now we can start the question answer session. So yeah, Amagla Prabhu, thank you. Okay, so how do we want it? If we allow everyone to speak, then there'll be a lot of chaos. I think
I think
will
that
read
the
the
time we have,
questions.
I think we can take just 3 questions. So, one from the ladies, one from gents, one from children.
Okay, so yes, let me see the questions which are coming. Okay, so I will take the most relevant question.
Yeah, relevant questions, because I know some people are also asking about Rasa Leela, which is a different topic than from leadership at all.
Yes, okay. Okay, so see, a lot of questions are coming, and it is difficult for me to how to identify just.
We can do Akkar Bakkar Bombay Boy and just choose any 3.
Okay. Just a minute.
I think one question, very good question has come. How
yes,
to be
yes.
among efficient
leaders? Right. It is better that you choose if you are able to see it. Yes. Okay.
No, it just popped up, so I just saw it.
Yeah. Please carry on.
Yeah. So one very good question which has come is that how to be a leader among the already existing efficient leaders. I would say that's your strength. The one who is not so intelligent would see this as a weakness, because he would say that they would replace me. Let me remain indispensable. But here comes one psychological law of indispensability. More we make ourselves dispensable by empowering others, inspiring others. So I'm making myself dispensable. But this very act of inspiring and empowering others, the others look at you as indispensable. And that's why you would be there. Because the person is now empowering and inspiring others. And in this way, he's making himself dispensable. Yeah, all of you are so good. Even I can move on. They would say, no, sir. Even though you have given us so much, and we are equipped, we are intelligent, we are very good leaders. Yet we cannot miss you. We cannot live without you. Reason being, you are a source of inspiration. So when we make ourselves dispensable, psychologically, other people, they see us as indispensable. So when there are efficient leaders already there, then we should equip them as per their psychophysical nature. We should equip them more and more, empower them, and they can actually bring more expansion underneath them. So in the hierarchy, in case you are seeking expansion, it is best to have efficient leaders with good attitude. They have good attitude. They're hardworking. They're sincere. So we are to just empower them. In case they sense the sense of insecurity in us, that is very disheartening for them. So we are really blessed to have good leaders under us, and that's the way to growth. But leadership is all about succession, creating succession, and that's the hallmark of a leader. One of the very important qualities of a leader. So that's how we can deal with that. Okay.
Yes. So one Harsh is asking, Prabhuji, if a leader is humble and one of the subordinate is clever, and if he takes advantage of the leader, so how to do that? How to manage that?
Usually, humility is associated with softness and always being down to earth and forgiving always, no corrections, no feedbacks, because I'm so humble. Well, that's not the definition of humility. Humility means the person is assertive. He's neither aggressive. Okay, you raise a voice against me, screw you, man, screw you. That's aggressive. And submissive means, which I just mentioned, that the person is so humble, so much down to, I mean to say, in this, he's so forgiving, so accommodating, and no corrections, no feedbacks, no education, like that. That's being submissive. A leader is in between the two. He's assertive. When somebody is taking advantage of one's soft nature, he can also be educated about it, not through himself, but through somebody else. These are some of the tactics which a leader use. Like sometimes even in home, in case the father is quite lenient and mother is very tough, or say other way around. Instead of saying, "Hey, you do not know my other side, huh? I'll punish you." No, no. Instead of saying this, let the spouse educate. Hey, your father is quite lenient. Don't take advantage. I know. And in this way, he can be educated about this. That we should not take advantage of somebody's being very lenient, somebody being very forgiving. Yeah. So in this way, that person can be educated about it. If somebody's taking advantage, and becoming humble doesn't mean becoming a fool. Anybody can just fool around me. No, it's not like that. It's not like that. We can always have healthy discussions with a person who is trying to play games like that. So in this way, he can be educated. He can be smartly taken care of by having good, healthy conversations. So like that. Okay. Last question.
Okay. Last question. So there are a lot of. Is there any child here who want to speak up? Who want to ask question?
Okay, anytime.
Okay, so I think I can read one question.
Okay, good. Yes.
Yeah. Prabhuji, is it okay for Krishna devotee to earn money if they give their fruits to Krishna and surrender to him?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, of course. Srila Prabhupada, he saw once a photograph of one Babaji, and he had this photograph. He was keeping money on the table, and he was like this. He got this photo on in the newspaper, and he asked his disciples that, "Okay, you also take my photograph, but you take two photographs. One photograph is there's money, and I'm grabbing it, and take a second photograph. I'm giving this money to Krishna." So that's why there is nothing wrong in earning money, provided we are doing it for Krishna. We have got great leaders also; they are earning money just for Krishna. Like in our country, in Delhi, I would say my temple president, his name is Pradyumna Priya Prabhu. He's a great businessman, and he has seen all the colors in the business. But yes, he said that मुझको पैसा कमाने में अच्छा लगता है because मुझको पता है मैं भगवान के लिए पैसा कमाता हूँ. Yeah. So that is when we are earning money for Krishna. Why not? Why not? So we can do that. A devotee is not just a reclusive, seclusive, a cave dwelling saint. No, he can be there in the cities doing many things for Krishna. So one can earn money. So to have money, there's nothing wrong. To get attached to money, that is wrong. Like Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhog Ashwarya, Prasaktanam. The word Prasaktanam is most important. Bhog Ashwarya can be there even in the life of a devotee. But when he becomes attached to Bhog and Ashwarya, then he's finished. Prasaktanam, Taya Parata Chetasam. Atmika Buddhi. That means having resolute focus would not be there because there is Prasaktanam, attachment. So one should not be attached to wealth, but one can certainly earn wealth in the service of God. Why not? One can do that.
Okay, so would you like to take one more question or just
yeah?
finish?
So we can take. Okay, I think so many questions coming. So maybe 2-3 more questions can be taken.
Yeah. So Alak Agarwal is asking, what if everyone around a leader are agitated? How does the leader manage all agitated people around?
Agitation means there is rajas. Agitation is a quality of rajugun, which is there in the Bhagavad Gita. So firstly, like they are saying in English, before educating people, we make them educatable. Okay, first we make them educatable, and then we educate them. So in case the leaders around us, they are quite agitated. The agitated person cannot be educated. So firstly, we have to settle their agitation by having more sattvagun in the environment, by our dealings, by our conversations, by some kind of sessions. In this way, more goodness can be brought in the environment, in the minds of the agitated, or at least prone to get agitated leaders. And then they can be educated or further. My God. So first we have to settle down that. So like our Srila Prabhupada, when he saw the hippies, they're so much into agitation, passionate life. So first he settled them by his wonderful dealings, and then he also educated them on the path of bhakti. So this is how we can deal with agitated leaders. First make them educatable, then educate them.
Okay, so Ananya Arora is asking, how can we dedicate our work to Krishna? Like if we are in spiritual task, that can be dedicated. But if I am doing some official or personal work which does not include Krishna service, how can it be devoted to Lord?
Well, in this case, I would say our morning sadhana is very important. A leader should have morning sadhana intact. When in the morning, when we have spent good quality time, we have spent with Krishna, Krishna's name, Lord Krishna's teachings in the morning. Then throughout the day, when we are working, I don't have to remember Krishna. Krishna would stay in my remembrance because in the morning, I spend good quality time with him in the form of chanting his names. So those vibrations, they stay throughout the day. So I'm there working, but those vibrations are there in the morning, because I spend a good quality time chanting the names of God. So in this way, whatever we do, of course, we have to focus. Not that, when you are making a programming on C, C++, Java, Amar Java, whatever you are doing, when that time you are thinking of Krishna, oh Krishna. But then how can you do programming? How can you apply for loop, do while loop? How can you apply that? How can you have this library functions working properly, catching the errors? How can you do that? Because you are remembering Krishna. So the tip is that spend good quality time in the morning itself. It's like somebody has spent good quality time with one's girlfriend, and then the vibrations, the sweet memories, they stay in the head. Even though the person is working, he's talking to others, but yeah, at the same time he's remembering his girlfriend. Yeah, she spoke so sweetly. Oh, she's such a sweetheart. That's there in the back of the mind, because one spent very good time when he was dating with his girlfriend. So in the morning we should all have date. We should go for dating in the morning, dating with the holy name, dating with Krishna's teachings, and then rest of the day we will be automatically be conscious of Krishna. Fine. And of course, if we give some part of our salary, that's also another way. Along with this, we can do this. So in this way, we can dovetail our tasks, our karma to Krishna.
Okay, so somebody is asking, and is repeatedly this message is coming. Should we believe in this astrology and all, and how to? Yes.
Yeah, in case somebody actually astrology is a bona fide science. Let me say that. An astrologer may not be bona fide. An astrologer can be a cheater, no doubt. But astrology is a bona fide science. It's a part of our Shruti Shastra. It's a part of our Vedic scriptures. So astrology is bona fide. Astrologer may not be bona fide. And astrology is a language to read out our karma. Yeah. So in case you are going to just know what's there in your karma, that's fine. In case through astrology you are going to change your karma, well, that's not desirable. That is, we depend on Krishna. So just like, for example, if you got a child, then with a horoscope you try to see, okay, what's going to be the psychophysical nature of the child, so that knowledge can be used by the parent for nice upbringing of the child. That's fine. In case if I know the horoscope of my partner, my wife, my husband, and through that I know the psychophysical nature of my wife, or my husband, my spouse, and then I deal with that person accordingly, so that I can have peaceful married life, and that's also okay. But in case if I try to use astrology to change my destiny, well, that's not recommended. That cannot happen. With bhakti, one can change one's karma, but with astrology, one cannot change one's karma.
Okay, so Vikram is asking, after having all qualities that has been said, how to maintain consistency in leadership values?
Yeah, so that's why a leader is always there to learn. When a leader is in consciousness to be a student who is always learning, growing, upgrading oneself, is always there like this. In this way, the leader can remain there. As soon as there is one great enemy of leadership is complacency, santriptata. In case somebody has become complacent in one's attitude, that means now no more learning. I know everything, man. I just know everything. Then there comes fall. But in case there is always a thirst to grow, and that's what is required for a leader to stay up, always learning, always growing. Yeah, that's what you do.
Okay, so Baswati Das is asking, as a subordinate, how can one deal with the bad behavior of wrong leaders?
Okay. Firstly, we have to see the circle of influence and circle of concern. What we can change, what we cannot change. In case there is a leadership at higher level, and then you cannot do anything about it, then that's your circle of concern. Well, I have a concern, I have got bad leadership. But in case you can actually bring a change, that's in your circle of influence. The leader comes to you. Well, is there any feedback for me, guys? Yeah, sure, I got a feedback for you, sir. And then you can write in what all can be improved. But best is that to give such a feedback in a way which is sandwiched, which is glorify, clarify, glorify. Sir, you are awesome, you are very good, you are inspirational. But few things, of course, I would request you to do is this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing. But although at the end, I must say, we are fortunate to have you. Now, what I did is a sandwich formula. So in this way, one can give feedback in case the leader is going to listen to you and he's having this forum, he's giving you the platform that you can offer such feedback. But in case he is beyond you, he is in the sky, you are on the earth, prayers for that guy and tolerate till the time you can tolerate and then move on maybe. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so can women be good leaders?
Why not? A woman can be a good leader. In fact, all the mothers, they are great leaders because they are making the leaders at home. You know, Mansi Chillar, she won the Miss World contest. And what was the question she answered because of which she was given the Miss World contest? Was that which should be the highest paid job? And she said mothers. Mothers should be the highest paid job. All the leaders in this world, they may say, well, I am successful, I am this and that. This leader had the first leader at home, the first guru is at home, and that's mother. In the corporate sector, of course, they can perform well. God has given them skills, knowledge, they can do. But there is even a higher responsibility than this, which often is tagged as behenji. Oh, तूने बच्चे पाले क्या? तो बहनजी है रे. तूने घर संभाला सिर्फ. अरे, तो बहनजी कहीं की. But actually, this behenji tag is from the media. The toughest job and the greatest contribution which a lady does to the world is nice upbringing of the leaders of the future. All of our mothers, today we are acting as leaders in various fronts. Today they are leaders who are on political front or on spiritual front, but we all got our mothers as a first leader to give us values. So leaders, all the ladies who are successful mothers, they are great leaders because to be a mother is a life of sacrifice. And the one who takes joy in the life of sacrifice is a true leader. This is the definition of a leadership. The one who takes joy in the act of sacrifices for others is a truest leader in the truest sense. So that's why mothers are the best leaders. So ladies can be leaders. All the ladies who are great mothers, they are great leaders.
Right. And so one student is asking how students can balance educational and spiritual life.
Okay, early in the morning, chant Hare Krishna, rest of the day, study very well. On the weekends, come to the temple. You balanced.
Right. Okay, so Hare Krishna Prabhuji, क्या leader को भी strict attitude रखना चाहिए?
Yes, leader को strict attitude भी रखना चाहिए. In case he's not keeping a strict attitude, as I mentioned that just by being strict, doesn't mean that I just pour out lava from my mouth. No, it doesn't mean that. In case there is anger, it has to be associated with knowledge. In case somebody's anger is due to the flavor of knowledge, that's very good. But otherwise, the leader is very cool-headed. In case he's a very short-tempered person, people hesitate to communicate to such a leader, and that's not good for the leader. So mostly 95% he's cool-lived. 5% sometimes he has to show the other side, but that too with knowledge, education. That's what's required in a leader.
Okay, somebody is writing societal pressure को कैसे handle करें. So what if you can be little more whoever is writing what kind of societal pressure you're talking about, then we can take your question. Okay, so Dinesh is asking if duty is very necessary, but heart goes to bhakti, bhajan, mandir, etc. So what should we do in this condition?
Yeah, so we should schedule everything in their time. Morning time is to chant Hare Krishna. Morning time is to read the Bhagavad Gita. Like during traveling, I used to study. But From my home, it was 1.5 hours journey to my office. So 1.5 hour going to the office, 1.5 hour reading scriptures. Coming back, I would take half an hour power nap, and then again 1 hour reading. So in this way, every day 2.5 hours of reading. In the morning, chant Hare Krishna. Come, go to the office, work very well with all sincerity and absorption. Come back, spend some time with my parents. I would do that. And somebody's married, maybe spend my time with his wife or husband, children. And then at the end of the day, before going to sleep, 15 minutes of reading Krishna's pastime from Krishna book. In this way, one can balance one's everyday duty as well as spiritual life.
Yes, nice. So if leader is biased, then how to sustain?
So in case the leader is biased, then of course a similar question, whether can we bring a change or not? Is he ready to take something from us or not? In case not, then you have to tolerate that or move on. Or in case he's ready to listen to you, or maybe you can talk to a person to whom he listens to. Like say, for example, there's an X person. He may not listen to you directly, but he listens from the X person. You talk to Mr. X or Miss X. Excuse me, Mr. X. Actually, I want to communicate this message to him. So that will be good for him. Being a well-wisher, I want to, if can be unbiased, that will be very good. Because that's what is expected out of him. He's a great person. He's a great person. But just one thing, if he can do, that will be really great. Although I have got sincere appreciation for the person. In this way, we can take another channel which can work for us.
Okay, so this societal or parental expectation. So that is the societal pressure somebody was talking about. So how to handle that?
See, people's expectation, there is no limit to it. We should
societal and parental expectations or pressure regarding education. Sorry, huh?
Yeah. Okay.
तो कैसे tackle करें? Okay.
So how to tackle that? So they may have any amount of expectations. If they want you to become a PhD, but you won't just want to do your bachelor's and move on, or say master's at the max, but not PhD or so. Well, we cannot satisfy everyone all the time. Just see what is practical for you. That's important. What the world is saying, that's secondary. What the society is saying, second. Even what parents are saying, that's secondary. Sometimes we have to see that what is practical for. In case the parents are really empathetic, they would see that this person is trying his best and this is what his limit is. And that's what his nature is. And then they would have expectations which are more realistic, which are more on human grounds. In case somebody is unempathetic, so then the expectations are not realistic. So we can't fulfill unrealistic expectations. So try your level best and just see whose expectations are realistic and just, that's it. Not, we cannot take the certificate from the entire world. Yes, we certify this person has fulfilled my expectation. No, this world is not going to give us certificate in any moment, in any point of time. Whatever we may do, how much sacrifice we may do, how much hard work we may do, the world is not going to give us that certificate. So that's why just do your best and move on, man. Take a chill pill.
Yeah. So Vignesh is asking, my workload is too much, cannot manage devotion. Please guide.
Okay. But in case you have become a devotee and you are not able to manage your workload, in case you can negotiate with your superiors that it can be delegated to somebody else, some part of it, that will be really great. In case they say, well, it's impossible, I would say just change the job. You may earn a little less. That's okay. That's okay. But you do not compromise on your spiritual life. That's most important. Change a job, go for a simpler job. Fantastic. But focus on spiritual life. But in case it can be delegated some part of it and your life becomes simpler, that's best. If not, change the job.
Right. So the messages are coming so fast, then I'm able to, when I'm reading, the another message come. Okay. So how a student or a leader can be consistent in overcoming lust?
Anything which demands consistency, that has to be in mode of goodness. Mode of passion makes things inconsistent. It starts, but it remains inconsistent because of mode of passion. And it does not even start when there is mode of ignorance, tamogun. In case it starts, it meets a destructive end. That's tamas. Anything which requires consistency requires sattvagun. In case you want to even have the battle against lust, and this battle be consistent, then you have to be in sattvagun. Now, how to get sattvagun? Lord Krishna says, when all the 9 gates in the body are illuminated with mode of goodness, all the 9 gates are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. In this body, there are 9 gates. The 9 gates in the body, when they're illuminated with knowledge, with mode of goodness, then we have mode of goodness. So more we have mode of goodness, more we see sattvic or say smell sattvic, taste sattvic, hear sattvic, touch sattvic. Of course, the rectum and anus will have sattvic because we are taking the food which is sattvic. So in this case, when we are having sattvic persona and we have sattvic personality, our psychophysical nature is very sattvic, then we can fight against something also in a sattvic way, in a consistent way. Of course, to fight against lust, I would say lust can be destroyed by lust. L-U-S-T. L for loud and clear chanting of Hare Krishna. L. Okay. U for understanding of philosophy. When we understand Siddhanta, then we see the world not with Charma Chakshu, we see with Jnana Chakshu. And that way, your eyes will not get stuck into things and objects of senses or sense enjoyment. So U for understanding of philosophy. S for Sadhu Sangha, associate with the devotees of the Lord. With their example, you have inspiration to quit lust. Yeah. And then T for tolerate the urges of the senses. When we tolerate the urges of the senses, in this way we can quit lust. After some time, the urge becomes weaker and weaker in due course of time. So lust can be destroyed by lust. L-U-S-T. Loud and clear chanting of Hare Krishna. U for understanding of philosophy. S for Sadhu Sangha, association of saintly persons. And T for tolerating the urges. In this way, you can conquer lust.
Okay. So nice. Udit is asking Prabhuji how to manage ego clashes because these things affect the leadership.
Yeah. In case there are ego clashes, sometimes we have to dodge the ego. How can we dodge the ego? Ego says that, credit should be given to me. Yeah. So what exactly he means, just see that. Usually such ego is just desiring appreciation. One more quality which is required in a leader is that he should be a genuine appreciator. So in case somebody wants credit, yeah, of course we can get credit for the person. Say publicly you appreciate the person. So this work I could do because of so and so, because he's there in our team, I must say that he is shining star of our team. So this we could achieve. So I'm very grateful to all of you, especially him. This is that. Words of appreciation. So any egoistic person is just looking for appreciation. That's it. Just appreciate and that's it. Apart from that, he is so wild in his ego. Then of course, either you are to just switch off, say switch to some other job, or say tolerate him. So then something else can be done. But try to dodge the ego by taking care of that need which is there in the core of his heart. What is he seeking by playing all that politics? Well, he's seeking appreciation. All right, I'll appreciate you. Calm down your ego, man. So in this way, we can dodge the ego for a while.
Right. So if everything is predestined, then why to work hard?
Ishan no, not everything is predestined. Everything is not predestined. Say somebody takes a flight from Delhi to Melbourne. So my reaching Melbourne is fixed. Now while traveling in the flight, I can read Bhagavad Gita, I can sleep, or I can also say flirt with air hostess. No, that's the choice. So that phase, while experiencing our destiny, we have the choice to say something or do something. So not everything is fixed. And there are many things that are not fixed. Our responses are not fixed to what happens to us. Our response is not fixed. Like when something wrong happens, people become atheists, and sometimes people become so much God conscious in bad times. So the choice is there during difficult times.
Okay, so somebody is asking, my family and friends are non-devotees. So now what can I do? Similar question is somebody is asking repeatedly, how to answer parents when unfortunately they abuse Vaishnavas, and so the similar questions here.
So one thing is that you can ask your parents on your birthday, and your parents will say, "Beta, you want to gift you something? Your mom, you want to gift me something? Papa, you want to gift me something? Yes, you are a lovely child. I just want one promise as a gift. One promise. What's that promise? You will never ever say anything ill about the devotees. If you give me that promise as a gift, I'll be the happiest." Yeah, of course we give that. No, I don't need any other thing. You just give me this promise. So that really brings down their criticism towards the devotees. Somewhere they become critical towards the devotees as well, because we too much show Panditgiri at home. Too much of devotee. I am a devotee. They are papi. Papa matlab papi. And ma matlab maya. Oh, this kind of highly stupid, idiotic theology which sometimes the devotees follow at home, and they treat them as sinners. And I'm so pious. And they say, "Acha, tu bada pandit ho gaya re." And then they screw child. So somewhere we are to teach them the right values, so that they behave rightly at home. They should not do so much of Panditgiri at home that I'm a pure devotee and you are, you're papi log. You mom, dad, oh, you're so papi. You're so sinful, We should not have that attitude. When we are respectful to them, say for example, say every day in the morning starts touching their feet. Hey, तू पाँव छूने शुरू कर दिए? कहता हाँ, हमको हरे कृष्णा बताते हैं, माता पिता के पाँव छूने चाहिए. माता पिता कहेंगे बेटा जरूर जा रहा है हरे कृष्णा, जरूर जा. बहुत very good, very good. So our dealings with our parents, they inspire us actually. When we show illogical, irrational, inhuman kind of behavior on the name of spirituality, that gives them negative inspiration, and then they abuse the devotee. This is what you are learning from your devotees. Nonsense. In case you want to say something, convey something, do that with the request mode. In case, for example, they are cooking onion garlic, you can always approach mother. Mama, I really love you. Can you do one thing for me? With folded hands, I request you, mom. Bolo beta. Mama, can you cook little bit of sabzi for me without onion garlic? Is it possible, please? Is it possible? Please, I request you, please, mom. Mother's heart is really soft, so she would facilitate as much as possible. So in that case, there are ways to deal with parents. In case you are exceptionally good in dealing with your parents, believe me, your parents would become devotees. It's my own personal experience. My parents today, they are chanting 16 nouns. Why? Because I dealt with them not like a devotee, but as a good son. That's it. I let other devotees preach to them, educate them. But I myself behave like a good son. I'm not a preacher when I'm talking to my parents. I'm just a loving son. That's it. And now they are in Dwarka, staying next to temple, walking distance. So in case if I'm doing something and I'm busy with something, but my mother gives a call, Beta, can you come for a lunch? Yes, of course. So within 2 minutes, I go home, have lunch, and within half an hour, I come back and resume my seva. So these are small gestures which we show to them, and they feel so good. They can also do bhakti. So somewhere when parents are not becoming devotees, most of the time I've seen it's our mistake. We have behaved with them in a way which was not inspirational enough for them to come to devotional service. This happens with husband-wife as well. In case a wife is here, wife has to act in a way which inspires the husband to come to bhakti. Husband has to act in a way which inspires the wife to come to bhakti. The parents have to behave in a way which inspires the children to come to bhakti. So we have to bring inspiration. If we show some kind of radically irrational behavior, that alienates them. All
Yes,
right.
wonderful.
So I'll take now last question.
So last question. Okay. Suhas is asking how leadership qualities work in corporate where there is a culture of buttering bosses and getting promotion.
Yeah, but we will not do buttering. You just do your work nicely. If promotion is to come, it will come. Do not worry. Just be very loyal to your boss. Do your work very nicely. That's it. I never flattered my boss. But promotion was to come, then it would come. It would come in a course of time. But I was sincere. That's it. Once my boss asked me, और कितनी दे भाई तुमको प्रमोशन? मैंने कहा सर आपको जो देनी है दे दो सर. कितनी दो इंक्रीमेंट? मैंने कहा सर हमने पाप पुण्य हमारे आपके पास ही है सर. So whatever you decide. Now he was giving 3 to everyone out of 5. 3 means 15%, 4 means 20% increment, 5 means 25%, which nobody gets. But 4 is given to exceptional performers, 3 to almost everyone, and 2 to duffers, and 1 to criminals, 0 to rascals, absolutely. So he was giving 3 to everyone. He said, okay, well, how much you expect? I said, you can give me 4, 20% increment, 80,000 rupees bonus. Yeah, come on, man. 20% increment. Huh? 80,000 bonus. I said, all right, sir, since if you want to give what you want, so why are you asking, sir? Then what you can give me whatever you want. He said, well, everyone comes and fights for 2 hours. That we did this, we did that. You're not fighting, man. You just want to do this meeting in 2 minutes. I said, well, sir, entire year what I could do for you, I have done. Now it's all up to you. He said, all right, I'm giving you 4, but when you go outside, tell everyone 3. Because I give 3 to them, but you are good. I know that's why I'm giving you 4. So he gave me 4. So, but I was never flattering him. But I was good. I was good in speaking, communicating, helping, cooperating, extending myself, and that's it. That's it. In one of my companies, I had a lady boss, and she was quite flirtatious. But I never flirted with her. But she gave me good rating, even though I never flirted with her. So that's why it is not that by being flirtatious we can go up there and what's in your destiny will come. Just work sincerely. That's it. Move on. All right. Thank you all very much.
Okay. Right, Prabhuji. So thank you very much for the wonderful session and then question answer session now. I think, and I'm sorry that we could not take the questions because there are hundreds of questions are coming and we could just take maybe 30, 40 questions only.
Yeah.
And also thank you, Amogila Prabhu, for the wonderful session and you have taken time out of your busy schedule. And thank you, thanks a lot. And I request the participants that please listen to Amogila Prabhu on the in the 3S conference also. Please register for the conference. And there Prabhuji is going to give lecture on what was the lecture? I'm taking out my phone to read out to you the topic name of Amogila Prabhu. He'll be speaking on sustainability through simple life practices based on cow culture. Yes, so I request the audience to please join this 3S conference, and the link is in the chat window. Prabhuji will be speaking on sustainability through simple life practices based on cow culture. So wonderful topic. And okay, so we are winding up now. And Amogila
Yes.
Prabhu, thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
the wonderful
Thank you very much
session.
for
And we'll request you to, will again invite you for few more sessions in the coming months. Thank you.
Sure.
Hare
I'll be doing your
Krishna.
service. Thank you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, everyone. Nice.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. And whoever and regarding the participants, those who wants to join the that Ashray, can you show Prabhuji again? That Ashray group is specifically for the people who really want to practice spiritual life. Ashray group. Yes, back Ashray. Yes, this one. But please, this is especially for the new people. This is not for the who are already connected with some ISKCON temple and going, and they are connected with some other Riksha, Ashray, or other some classes they have joined. So they can be connected there, remain connected there. This is specifically for new people who are new to ISKCON, and they are not going any organized spiritual training program, so they can join this group. And we can Indrajit Prabhu, I think you are sending the link for Ashray group, and also the Bhagavad Gita course. Bhagavad Gita course, Prabhu. Indrajit Prabhu. Yes, this one is Bhagavad Gita course. So this is starting from 5th of June, every Saturday, 5:30 to 7 p.m. Prabhuji, yes, okay. So you can join this. This will be a wonderful program for whoever wants to understand Bhagavad Gita, 18 chapter, 18 sessions. So for joining this also, link is available in the chat window. Now I think people can unmute themselves. Indrajit Prabhu, if somebody want to ask anything about ISS, about the course, about anything, they can, I think, speak. So you can unmute, you can allow them to unmute themselves so that they can speak and ask anything they want.